Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Campus Consortium's Grant I Seminar featuring $150,000 Grant Award winner Seward County Community College. Today's presentation will focus on how Seward County Community College received a $150,000 grant for their portal, single sign-on, IT help desk, and mobile app to support their students, staff, and how your institution can also apply for a similar grant. Our presenters include Mr. J.J. Widener, Chief Information Officer at Seward County Community College, and Mr. Mills, Function Consultant at Campus Consortium. We will take questions at the end of today's presentations that have been typed into the chat box or questions pane in your GoToWebinar control panel. Without further ado, allow me to present Mr. Mills and Mr. Widener. Over to you, Mr. Mills.
Colleagues, good afternoon. It's a few minutes just after 2 o'clock today. Hope you guys are all doing well. We have approximately about 35 institutions who have joined us for today's briefing to learn about the grant program and how Mr. Widener and his team have leveraged the grant for their portal. So out of this briefing, you will learn how to apply for similar grants to what Seward County Community College was successful in applying and receiving, and then further downstream implementing. The bulk of this briefing will come from JJ on his project and the outcome of that project. Campus Consortium is the largest global association of higher education institutions. The core of the grant program is to help institutions improve their retention, student services, enrollment, or advancement objectives. Essentially, leverage much needed funds to help achieve outcomes, again, to achieve more cost efficiency. The other part of the grant program is also to leverage other institutions and their expertise that have come before. JJ would be an excellent point of reference, not only for the grant program or process, but if you're thinking of applying for any of these grants. If you could just move to the next slide, please. He can also be the key resource to help you through the readiness assessment in terms of campus successful, not just a grant recipient, but a successful implementation. Because at the end of the day, we at Campus Consortium are looking for campuses that have the need, but also leverage the grant successfully, so that you too can get a briefing on such as this and share your lessons learned and share your experiences with other institutions. The grant that was won and leveraged by Seward County Community College was for portal, single sign-on, IT help desk services, and the mobile app. There are quite a series of grants from Campus Consortium. For instance, cloud hosting, single sign-on, enterprise portal, and the mobile app. And we also have Office 365 migration, and the other grant is the Blue Light Emergency app as well. So like I was saying, just to name a few, so make sure that the grant that you're applying to is the right grant that adds value to your particular context. We have also tried to make the grant as simple as possible, since some of you are grant writers or work within your institutions on the grant side, and some institutions don't have a grant team. So the next major deadline is June 28th, 2017. We have approximately I believe it's seven available grants available till June 28th, 2017. The application process is also somewhat flexible. We do understand higher education is very busy already, and they're kind of short of staff as well. We usually will extend some flexibility to the deadline if there is a valid reason for it. You're welcome to call us or call the previous grant recipients to help out or with any questions that you might have. Other than Seward County Community College, you will see a slide of some other institutions that range from Louisiana State. We've got Belmont University, we've got Bryant University, the University of Arkansas, we've got Shelton State Community College. So, I mean, it really doesn't mean that you should be of any particular type of institution in terms of private, public, four-year tier, as long as you're a bona fide institution of higher ed. The grant program is available to you. This is a little bit of context on the grant application sort of timeframes and process. The key really here is how can any of these programs be relevant to you and allow you to achieve a strategic institutional objective in improving student experience or improving enrollment or advance in processes. And if we can ascertain that the project will be successful, which means that the grant funds will be well utilized, that really is what kind of drives our decision in making or what drives us to choose campuses. So without further ado, I would like to pass the platform to Mr. J.J. Widener, who is the Chief Information Officer at Seward County Community College. Over to you, J.J.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me okay?
We can, JJ. Thank you.
I was imagining everybody virtually nodding at my question, so it is interesting sometimes whenever you're speaking to a presentation without being able to see any faces. So thank you for joining the presentation. I'll keep it as clear and concise and as helpful as possible. A little brief introduction to myself. I am the CIO here, have been for about 2 years now. I went to Seward County Community College as a student back in the early 2000s, and it's been an interesting journey ever since with my education, and currently certified as a CISSP and a Certified Information and Security Manager, so very thankful for the opportunity to learn and continue to learn as well. So a little bit about Seward County Community College. As you can see, we've been around since 1967, which in the grand scheme of higher education is quite a bit less than other institutions, but still around here for a while, and we're very proud of our school here. It is a 2-year school. We have about a 50% matriculation to 4-year institutions from here at Seward County. You can see our total enrollment numbers. Our FTE is about 1,300, but we do serve in the upwards of 2,500 students. So it's a real range there because of a lot of the programs that we have here really are tailored to a lot of technical programs. So we have a lot of students that take just one class and then aren't degree seeking at all. So we are in Liberal, Kansas. If you haven't been to southwestern Kansas, you're not missing much. There's not much out here other than some good people, and if you want to come take a class every once in a while. We are a very proud community, though. We are very excited about the technology that we've been able to implement here with Campus CAI and provide to our students as well. We are a banner school, probably one of the smallest, if not one of the smaller banner schools that are in their clientele. Went to EDUCAUSE and eLive the past couple years and have noticed that we are a very small banner school. The only ones that are smaller, I believe, are the ones that are the professional level schools, Juris Doctor, or possibly even pharmacy schools. So we are in a big battle with upgrading our ERP right now. So I don't know if anybody else is going through that banner upgrade to Banner 9, but we are right in the middle of it, and we use one of Campus CAI's partner companies for that help as well as GI Oculus IT, which I can also speak very highly of. So our LMS is Canvas. We've been on Canvas for about a year. I want to say a year and a half that we've live with classes last fall. So we're coming up on a full year of live with classes, and we had about a 6-month period of time where we were transitioning from e-college, I believe was the last one, to Canvas. So we are on exchange for email, looking to go to Office 365 or Outlook 365. I'm doing that migration and most likely looking to Campus CAI for some help with that as well. Black Belt Help, we use that for our after-hours support. It is helpful here considering we are a small staff that students, if they need to, can contact them. And this has been a growing experience with the password resets. So right now we have a virtual desktop that we set up that Campus CAI or Black Belt Help can actually log into and reset the students' passwords given they provide all the needed information. And it's been very helpful. We don't have to work 24 hours a day, and it provides a better service for our students that they don't have to wait until 8 a.m. the next morning when I get back to work to finish their homework if they got locked out of their account or forgot their password. It's more that instantaneous feedback, because if they're wanting to do homework at 2 a.m., I don't want to be the one stopping them. So Black Belt Help, a very good service. So our single sign-on quick launch with the portal is it's a very cool service. So I'm right now working on my MBA through a 4-year institution, and I just transferred from one 4-year institution to another 4-year institution, and being in the position that I'm in, I do a lot of comparisons, and I want to know what we're doing right as a community college versus some of the 4-year institutions. So I've noticed that there's no single sign-on. I log into the portal, I click on something, and I have to log in again. And I click on another service, and I have to log in again. I have to keep repetitively entering in my my credentials. So here at Seward County Community College, I would like to think we're a little bit ahead of the game. You log in once to our portal, and you click on Gmail, it automatically logs you into Gmail. You click on the Banner self-service pages, it automatically logs you into Banner self-service, and you're able to get to your student information, or if you're faculty and advising, able to get to that information very quickly. Very cool service with the quick launch. I like the single sign-on. We use it, if I could pull up my screen, we use it for about 8 different services across campus. Just gives it that one-stop shop for single sign-in, and you don't have to repetitively enter in your credentials. So I really do like the single sign-on aspect of the quick launch and in the portal. So Cryptos, our mobile app, actually right before the presentation, I hopped on the cryptosmobile.com to look at our apps that we actually have. And I have to say, coming from Banner mobile app to the Cryptos mobile app, I don't even know how to put this without, it's hard to say without bashing Aleutian, and I'm not going to bash Aleutian. They do very well, but with their mobile app, you have to do a lot of internal development. If we had the staff to develop apps, then it would be a good app for us, I believe. However, we don't. The Cryptos mobile app provides a lot of the apps, and the cool thing is the app sharing. So if an institution builds an app and they want to share it out, then we have access to that app. A lot of the Banner apps that we currently have are add drop classes, so that they can look up a class and register for a class all through their mobile app. And it was on our side, it was just giving Cryptos or Looking Glass Cryptos the go ahead, and we had to of course provide them with a lot of Banner information. We worked hand in hand getting this integrated, but now students can use their mobile app to enroll into classes, drop classes, view their midterm grades, their final grades, view any holds, view their student schedule. They can search for classes, they can view their account summary, they can check on classroom availability if they're wanting to study somewhere. They can look at their academic transcript, leave balances, pay stubs. So Cryptos mobile app, very cool platform. I was very impressed whenever I first saw this product. I didn't know exactly what we were getting into when we decided to move away from the Banner mobile app, but after making the transition and seeing the additional functionality, we we love the branding. We can actually put our emblem on there. It's actually on. You can go download it, and you won't be able to get much out of it other than the public apps, but you can go to the App Store on your mobile device right now. If you're not paying attention to me and you want something to fidget with, you can go look at the SCCC mobile app, and you can download and see what our actual mobile app looks like. And it's branded for Seward County Community College. It has our logo on there. It's not, it's been a year, and I forgot what banners is actually called, but I think it had the E emblem, and then you had to put in your school's URL, and then it would pick up the changes, and it just wasn't very inviting for downloading, not what our students are expecting whenever they're wanting to use mobile apps. So I'm sure if we had an internal staff that could handle that, it might have been different for us. But with the Cryptos mobile app, with the minimal staff and the GUI that they have to manage the mobile app is very, very helpful. I can go in and configure minimal app changes. If it's a URL change, if we're changing out a server, if we're hosting something somewhere different, I can move that app. If it's, if we're building up a new banner server, I can change the URL where it's pointing to get the information it needs. So, of course, it integrates with Banner and Canvas. So that was another big selling point for me, was that now the students have one app. Some of the functionality in the Canvas, so the Cryptos mobile app, some of the functionality, if you've ever seen the Canvas app has, some pretty good functionality. Our Cryptos mobile app, it's coming along, and they are able to get to the needed information that they need in one single app. So I can answer any more questions on that if you have at a later date, but a very cool integration and giving the students one app versus having to load multiple different apps. The only benefit I know that the actual Canvas branded app is, if you wanted to do your homework on your phone, you could probably do your homework on your phone. I don't know of many that would, but leave it to students to find a creative way to do their homework. So, and it's engaging. So the branding, keeping the one solid image, the one branding image, the same the same look and feel as a lot of our other Looking Glass Cryptos services that we use. It's streamlined. It looks a lot the same. It's the same. A lot the same. It's not the best English, but it's very inviting to them. I have heard nothing but good feedback from both having our portal and Looking Glass Cryptos, and it's exciting where they're going to be going in the future. And I'm excited to where Campus Consortium and Campus CAI is going. They have some really exciting plans for us in the future. So, if you haven't heard much about them yet, I would do some more research and actually, go ahead and fill out the grant and start getting into conversations. And I would be happy to reach out to you and answer any questions. But we have a lot of services with Campus CAI. We have phone calls scheduled with them on a weekly, sometimes twice a week basis, going over some of the tickets that we have, some of the updates that we need to make. So we're in constant contact with them. They're very, very cordial and very responsive over email and over getting on a meeting and answering any questions or taking care of any issues that are a little bit more pressing. They really respond well to the escalation of it. So we can go ahead and move on to the next slide, please. All right, so as you know, the cost savings that you get from the grant are tremendous. I know it helped us with the initial licensing fees. That was the biggest part that the grant helped us on, and plus it allowed us to implement more services. So, what can be said? You're getting more for your buck, and plus Campus CAI is, they have higher education in mind, so they know what our struggles are. They have many schools that they work with. It's not it's not just the ones, you're not joining, just a couple schools. You're joining, I don't know what their current count is, but I want to say like 2,000 schools. There's a lot of schools that they work with. And the good thing is, once you get in with them, you get the cost savings aspect of it as well. So you'll benefit from one school, saying they need something. So let's say I needed to make a change to our portal, and they find it beneficial that every school would need that change. Well, you're getting the added benefit of the change that I need, that if you want that, you can have that. And of course, sometimes there might be a cost involved, but if they are developing it for one, it's an added benefit and a discount to others. So it's really exciting to be a part of the consortium for the cost savings aspect of it, with being a small community college in Kansas. As most of you know, our budgets aren't getting any bigger. I don't believe our government's going to be allocating any more money to higher education. So anywhere that we can find cost savings and add, but at the same time, not just cost savings, because there's sometimes you save money, but you're not getting the added benefit for the student outcomes or for the student experience. So I can attest to the things that Campus CAI are developing are going to be changing some of the student outcomes and the student experience for the long term, and it's very exciting to be a part of their consortium. So the mobile app, again, big marketing piece that we pushed out, and great feedback on the mobile app. I was very excited about that, and they are working to start getting some of the mobile app and the portal, some of the intermixing of those two technologies is what they're looking forward to, is how to have a unified system. So it's pretty exciting stuff. The Campus Consortium, they helped us figure out what we needed. And I wasn't here at the very beginning of that. The portal was implemented before I started here. I started in about 2014 here at the college, and so it was implemented before I got here, but I know the process that they went through and the challenges that they faced. Of course, the single sign-on is a big one. Making sure all the services are in one location, how to push people to the portal. It's another difficult piece of getting everybody trained that this is where you need to go. Everybody has their favorite way to get to the same point. So how do you then, I guess, shape the traffic to go to where you want them to go so they have all the services available to them? So that was another challenge that still, if they know the URL, they might not go through the portal, and they might just log in outside of the portal. So just pushing them to the right spot, because there's so much more information we can provide to them. And then there's the messaging piece that's inside the portal as well. So I know a lot of the Higher Learning Commission requirements is that students are updating or reviewing their information. So how are we going to notify them, and how are we going to engage them? A lot of campuses don't have a texting mechanism in place for a campus-wide texting service, like a communications management, some type of system like that. So in the portal, they log in, boom, they have a message. Cryptos mobile app, they have a messaging tool in there. So if they have the mobile app installed, you can push out a message to the student, and they will then be able to view the message. Hey, you might not be able to push them directly to that they need to update their information, but as many reminders as we can put in front of them, that's just one for instance. I know our Vice President of Academics is really wanting increased communication to keep information updated, and of course our Development and Alumni Foundation really likes that as well, because it's a lot easier on them if we have updated student information that anytime they log into the portal, or maybe twice a year, that we are reminding them to look at their information. Did their phone number change? Update your phone number, that type of scenario. So, but they really helped us assess our issues, then take a step back and what pieces of their solutions actually fit best with our environment. And ironically, almost every one of them with the cost savings fit in our environment. I think we have a lot of their offerings when it comes to our website is actually with Campus AI as well, and the web content management system. We have our portal with them. We have their black belt help with them. We have our mobile app with them. So I know quite a little bit about their systems and their services and their responsive nature and how they help our campus out in reaching our goals, because their goal is to help us reach our goals, and it's just a good relationship on both sides of it. So we can go ahead and move to the next slide while I grab a drink of coffee. All right, so I think it's going to be changing. A little bit of lag on that, and that's okay. I could keep talking about, we could have a cybersecurity lesson, maybe not a lesson. I'm sure everybody knows about the cybersecurity challenges nowadays. So here are the changes. We've been using it since 2012, and it is a one-stop shop. We're also looking forward to the upcoming changes as well. So the message center I already mentioned, and it's about getting the information to the students and making sure we're engaging our students as much as we can. There's solutions out there that are just engaging solutions. Well, you already have one, plus the added benefits of, if you're looking forward to working with Campus AI, that they have this messaging in place that you can contact your students. If you're using their mobile app, then you can contact them on the mobile app. And in the future, I'm sure there's going to be one way that it sends it out to everything. So if you need to send a message, you don't have to send it through the mobile app or send it through the portal, that you send it to one spot and it goes to every device that you have with Campus AI. So I could see that happening in the future as well. So let's see. Oh yeah, so we manage our users, of course, through Active Directory. So it's a role-based account that we set up in Active Directory. We assign the associated roles. So administrative management of it is very, it's just as simple as it is managing Active Directory. So it's not really too difficult to set up, and yeah. So, and I just got a request, and I can share my screen as well. So let me, I'm going to go ahead and show real quick on my screen, as long as I can figure this out real quick. Is somebody able to pass the ball to me? All right, let's see here. So which screen can you see? That's another good question. So I did have the mobile app. Are you able to see the Cryptos mobile app? If you're virtually nodding your head, I think you can. All right, well, I'm going to pretend that you can see my Cryptos mobile app here. So this is what it looks like on the Cryptos mobile app side. You can actually see here the different apps, and you can actually get into the settings here. And there's many different ways you can get into the administration. You can look at the APIs and figure out, what APIs are actually being used in some of these different services. So you can get into as much into the weeds as you want and get into some very highly configurable applications and mobile apps as well. So you can see what services. So of course here are all the banner where it's tying in the banner. So if we were to look here, of course, we can go in and edit. And a lot of this is, I believe, SQL. So, just pulling a SQL statement. So very cool stuff. I don't get in here very much and modify anything. A lot of that was already set up. Some of the minor changes that I make are not in this area. However, you can, if there's something that you want to work on, you'd have to visit with Campus AI or Looking Glass Cryptos and figure out what you can or cannot modify in here. So let me get back to the home page here. And there we go, My Apps. All right, so you can actually see which one was the one. I think it was email. So yeah, you can poke around in here. Okay, there's a service endpoint, leave balances, messaging applets. So here we go, student Gmail. So here's where you can change different URLs. You can change the display name, of course. You can see your Canvas applets. These are all the ones that we have implemented for Canvas, so they can, in one app, they can pull up their grades, the courses, assignments, messages, so on and so forth. So, and we have the public app. So all these came included for one price for us, and it was very affordable, comparable to what it would cost for us to develop these ourselves. So alumni, we just point this to a different web page, so it opens up a web page inside the app. So you could go through here and look at that. So that's the mobile app creator, and that's how we can configure and modify. You can, as you can see, you can modify and break stuff if you know how to get in there and modify the SQL statements that they've constructed. But again, I would definitely look to Looking Glass Cryptos on what you should and shouldn't do. They have great knowledge in that area. So here is our portal. So as you can see here, we can, these are my favorites, so I can drag and drop up here my favorites. And I believe they even have an updated look on some of these. We haven't went through some of the updates, but if I'm wanting to go see My Saints records, of course, it's not going to work, because if you ever open up a URL and you are not authenticated, then it shouldn't work. So let me re-authenticate. There's our Lady Saints basketball team that went to nationals this year. Very proud of that here in Seward County. So let me re-authenticate here, and this should work. So there is built-in security, so if anybody was to get a URL string and just copy and paste that, or if they are hopping on your computer and just want to go here real quick, if it's been, I think, I don't know what our timeout is, 15, 20 minutes, that it automatically, you have to re-authenticate. So as you can see here, you can go through and you can access My Saints records. That's our banner self-service pages, and we have Canvas in here. So the four-year institution I went to, I would have to go to their Canvas page and log in each time. Here it's in our portal. Student Gmail, I don't have a student Gmail account, so this should error out or tell me that I don't have one, but if I was logged in as a student, that would work. We have all of our other services here. We have our time clock system that we could log into here as well. eSupport, where everybody can log their tickets. Outlook authentication, so I can actually access my Outlook on the web. So I'm sure you could tie that into Office or Outlook 365 as well. So that's our portal. That's our single sign-on. A lot of this, as you can tell, looks very similar to our web page. So same look and feel. It's not exactly the same, but a lot of it is the same branding, we really wanted that. We wanted to make sure, at least this top part here, they know that they're on a Seward County website. So I really appreciate the look and the feel of these services and how they display themselves to our students. So have there been any other requests to expand on anything else, or should we get back to the presentation? I think this is a good first-hand look. We have our student advising profile, so any Banner schools that are looking to implement some Banner 9 modules, here's our advising student profile, where we can go in and we can actually look up a student. And I don't know if I want you to see my grades from back in 2000, but you should be able to actually get in here and view our advising student portal as well. So still the same single sign-on stuff that works so well with all the other services. They can help us, and they have the means to help us get that single sign-on, that integration. And and the best part about this is the time savings on clicking. So on entering in passwords, I bet I couldn't imagine a day how many minutes this saves our staff. And the less time we have to enter in username and passwords, the more time students can spend studying, employees can spend working, so on and so forth. So I am going to stop sharing my screen, or all right, and I believe we're going to go back to the presentation, and we can finish up the presentation. So all right, so the app maker, we went over that. Looking Glass Cryptos and the content management system platform. We are still working on, everything's a work in progress. So the good thing about that is Campus CAI is a partner in this journey. It's not just a one-time, for us anyway, it's not a one-time engagement. We are, as you can see, we are fully engaged with Looking Glass Cryptos. I keep saying Campus CAI, I hope that's fine, but Looking Glass Cryptos and the service they provide for us. So,
thank you, JJ, for the quick insight, and of course for walking the whole audience through your journey and your platform and what you guys have done so amazingly on campus.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm on LinkedIn. I think some of you have actually reached out to me on LinkedIn or just by email. They would be happy to give you my information. And if you have any questions, again, I wasn't here to fill out the grant. However, I believe Looking Glass Crypto should be able to help you out with any of the questions that you have. So thank you for having me, and I hope you have a very wonderful day. Thank you.
Great, great. And just before we sign off for today, JJ, I'd just like to ensure that we don't have any questions from the audience. So for those who have joined us today, if you do have any questions, if you could type them into the questions pane or the chat box, would really help us to address those for you. We'll just take a minute or so for those questions. Okay, I can see a hand that was raised from the audience, and that hand belonged to, give me 1 second, please. Okay, we got a question from the audience saying that, did you use the help desk grant, or did you not?
The help desk client. So on our portal,
yeah.
The help desk grant. Oh, my apologies. I believe some of it did apply to the help desk piece of it. So the allocation to the help desk was there. Yes, I believe. Again, that the implementation of some of these systems. I was here for the implementation of the Cryptos mobile app and for the web content management system. So how that applied back in 2012. However, I was not here during that, but I believe it was. That is correct.
Typically thank you, JJ, for answering that. And typically for the folks who've joined us in today, I'm Annie here. I'm the Vice President for Community Engagement at Campus Consortium. A little brief about the history. We were founded as an institution by 14 universities, including Case Western Reserve University and the University of Montana. We started our journey from there. It's been 15 years since we've been in this program. We've been helping institutions save cost and help them leverage IT solutions through our associated technology partners. Now, the help desk grant in particular covers the implementation, discovery, and setup costs. So you don't need to pay for making those knowledge-based articles, for the training of the agents, for basically consultative sessions, etc. Campus Consortium covers that cost, which is roughly up to $20,000. What you end up paying is only what you use, which is basically the interactions that would be used by people who are calling up in terms of SMS, email, and chat to get their needs addressed. So that's pretty much, I hope that answers, Nancy, that answers your question. We're going to move on from here. We're a little close to 2:40, and I'd like to move on with a few more details. So we've been running this grant program successfully, and some of our recent award winners have been Lipscomb University, Shelton State University, Wilkes, most recently Lemoyne Owens College, Southeast Technical Institute for Help Desk. For mobile, we've got Virgin Islands Department of Education, and we've worked with Louisiana State University UNIS. So in conjunction, Campus Consortium has worked with these universities to help them bring such platforms to them to help build the bridge and the needs of what's required on campus. So if you and your institutions are interested in applying for the grant, here are some details on the screen that you could look for. You can visit our website at campusconsortium.org. You can go to the grant section, see the list of grants that are available. Simply download the form and email us at grantapplication@campusconsortium.org. As soon as you do that, within 24 hours, you'll receive a ticket from us generated that will talk about the details of the grant and next steps. You'll receive a call to qualify and discover basically the need on campus or do some kind of map and gap analysis of what we could fund. Pretty much the whole process takes somewhere roughly between 3 to 4 weeks from the first day you've applied for the application, and we've scoped out the entire requirements to the execution of any agreement that needs to go in place with the technology partner. We have a total number of grants available that are 10. I would suggest please hurry up to fill out these grant applications as the deadline is June 28th. We already have more than 134 applications in place. So if your institution is looking for a grant from us, I would request you to please fill it in, as I will be reviewing all the applications towards the end of the month once I start receiving them. For the next, we've got, as for the next round of grants, where I want to make an announcement, we'll be rolling out the Artificial Intelligence Grant for institutions. That will be one of the upcoming grants, which you could see and find out in more details. And we would also be launching the Student App Development Grant. So there would be licenses to a platform where students can build apps. So there'll be more details on that on our upcoming grants for next quarter. Well, that's it from us today. JJ, thank you so much for taking out your valuable time. It's always a pleasure to have you on board and talk about all these wonderful things that we've done.
Yes.
From our side, we'd like to sign off, and definitely we'll look forward to see more sessions for our team, for the people who are interested in the grant program and who'd like to get in touch with you. Okay?
All right. Thank you, everybody.
You too. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of the day. Take care. Bye-bye.